Hello all, welcome to this new lesson on data types in C. In the previous lesson, we discussed about the different types of constants that are available in C language. And in this lesson, we are going to discuss about the different types of data types that are supported in C language. Okay, so let's get started. The first question that I would like to ask you is, what do you mean by a data type? Data type will indicate two things to the compiler. The first one is that the data type will tell the compiler as to what type of constant that it can represent. That is the first thing. The second thing is that data type will indicate to the compiler as to how much of memory has to be allocated for a variable associated with it. It means if you are trying to create a variable using a particular data type, then that data type will indicate to the compiler as to how much of memory has to be allocated for the variable associated with that data type, right? So these are the two things that a data type will indicate to the compiler, right? The first one is as to what kind of data it can represent or what kind of constant that it can represent. And second thing is how much of memory has to be allocated for a particular variable. These are the two things. So having said that, in C language, data types are of four types. The first one is int data type. The second one is float data type. The third one is double data type. And the fourth type of data type is char data type. Okay. So as the name itself indicates, int data type is used for representing integer constants. Float data type is used for representing 32-bit floating point constants. Double data type is used to represent 64-bit floating point constants. And char data type is used to represent character constants, right? So this is one part of the story. The second part of the story is to indicate how much of memory has to be allocated for a variable associated with each data type, isn't it? So that we'll discuss in the upcoming slide. So consider the statement which says int a is equal to 5. So what does the statement actually tell to the compiler? This statement informs the compiler to allocate some amount of memory on the RAM, and after allocating some amount of memory on the RAM, the statement asks the compiler to name that memory as A. So this becomes your variable. And after naming this memory location as A, it also asks to assign the value of 5 into this memory location, which is referenced by A. Therefore, 5 gets stored into this particular memory location. But the question here is that how much of memory should the compiler allocate for this particular statement, isn't it? So how much of memory has to be allocated is told or is informed to the compiler using this word called as a data type, right? So in our example, we have the data type as integer on the slide, right? No, so therefore this integer will tell the compiler as to how much of memory has to be allocated, right? So let us now see how much of memory would be allocated when we create a variable using int data type, right? So whenever we create a variable using int data type, the amount of memory that is allocated for the variable a could either be 2 bytes, it could either be 2 bytes, or it could be 4 bytes, or it could be 4 bytes. This is because integers in C language can either be a short integer or it could be a long integer. Short integers are always of 2 bytes and long integer are always of 4 bytes. So in C language, short and long are called as qualifiers. They are called as qualifiers. Okay. Now, whether int should allocate 2 bytes or 4 bytes is, as I told you, depends on short and long, and whether to consider int as a short integer or as a long integer is decided by your compiler. It means whether an integer is a short integer or a long integer, it is totally dependent on the kind of compiler that you're actually using. For example, if suppose you write the statement int a semicolon, and then if you compile this statement using a turbo C compiler, then this integer is considered as a short integer and the amount of memory allocated for this variable would be 2 bytes. Similarly, if you write int a and compile the statement using GCC compiler, which is a very popular compiler, then the amount of memory allocated for this variable a would be 4 bytes because your GCC compiler by default considers int as long integer. So let me repeat. In a Turbo C compiler, all integers are by default considered as short integers, and that is why it allocates 2 bytes of memory for this variable a. Whereas your GCC compilers will consider all integers as long integers by default, and that is why the memory allocated for the variable a associated with it is 4 bytes. If you want your integer to be of 4 bytes on a Turbo C compiler, then you will have to explicitly say long int a, and that is when your Turbo C compiler will allocate 4 bytes for your variable a, right? Whereas in a GCC compiler, if you want your integer to be short integer, then it is necessary that you have to explicitly tell to the compiler that you are trying to create a short integer by adding this qualifier along with your data type. So having said that, so how much of memory will be allocated for a variable associated with int data type depends on two important qualifiers, that is short and long. Few compilers treats integers as short integer by default, and few compilers considers integer as long integers by default. So having said that, so int data type will inform the compiler to allocate either 2 bytes or 4 bytes of memory for the variable associated with it. So hope you understood about int data type, right? Now let's move on to float data type, right? So float data type is used to represent 32-bit floating point constants, and this statement will indicate the compiler to allocate some amount of memory. Okay, so what is that some amount of memory is dependent on this data type, and float data type indicates to the compiler to allocate 4 bytes of memory location. Therefore, the amount of memory allocated for this, for a variable b associated with float data type is 4 bytes of memory location. And it also says to associate that allocated memory location with the name b. Therefore, b becomes your variable. And after allocating the memory, it says to store the value of 5.5 into b. Therefore, what gets stored in b is 5.5. Okay, so therefore the amount of memory allocated for a variable associated with float data type is 4 bytes, right? So this is all about float data type. Now coming to the next one, so we have double data type. Okay, so this statement says, that is double C is equal to 6.5, says that, tells to the compiler that, okay, allocate 8 bytes of memory location, right? So double indicates to the compiler to allocate 8 bytes of memory location. Okay, and after allocating 8 bytes of memory location, give it a name called as C, right? And once your memory is allocated and once the name has been given to it, once the variable is created, store this constant, floating point constant, into C, which is nothing but 6.5. Okay, so as said earlier, double data type is used to represent 64-bit floating point constants. Okay, now, so the next kind of data type is char data type. So here there is a small change over here. So we must understand that char data type is used to represent character constants. And what do you mean by character constants? So any character that is enclosed within a single quote becomes your character constants, isn't it? Now, so whenever we actually create a variable using char data type, then it informs the compiler to allocate 1 byte of memory location, right? So char data type indicates the compiler to allocate 1 byte of memory location and associate this memory location with the name D. So D becomes your variable name, and then store not the character A, rather store the ASCII value of this character A. For us, it looks like as if we are storing the capital A into D, but internally what gets stored is the ASCII value of capital A, which is nothing but 65. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange, and this is an encoding scheme used by C language to represent all its characters, right? So in C language, all characters will be stored with a ASCII value, right? So characters are not directly stored, the character constants are not directly stored, rather its ASCII value will get stored in the memory, right? So as an example, ASCII value of A is 65, ASCII value of small a is 97, ASCII value of 0 is 48, and so on and so forth. So it means if suppose you write the statement char D is equal to, okay, capital B, then what gets stored inside this D is not 65, rather, okay, let me show it to you. Okay, what gets stored is the ASCII value of capital, the ASCII value of capital B, right? So if the ASCII value of capital A is 65, then the ASCII value of capital B is 66. Okay, you can just add +1 and you can continue. So what gets stored inside this D for the statement char D is equal to capital B is 66. Okay, similarly, as another example, if suppose you say char D is equal to small a, then what gets stored inside this memory location referenced by D is not 66, rather what gets stored is the ASCII value of small a, which is nothing but 97. So 97 gets stored inside this memory location. So therefore, one thing that you have to understand here is that, so always character constants are always represented by an encoding scheme called as ASCII, which stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange, and the character constants are not directly stored, rather those ASCII values of, or those encoded characters, okay, so which is nothing but the ASCII values of those character constants get stored into the memory, right? So if you want to learn more about the encoding scheme, then I would definitely recommend you to go and read the Wikipedia document about ASCII. It's very well explained over there. Okay. So having said that, hope you have understood the different types of data types available in C. As a quick recap, so if you create a variable using int data type, then the amount of memory allocated would either be 2 bytes or 4 bytes, depending on the compiler that you are using, because your compiler again depends on the compiler allocates the memory based on two qualifiers, that is short and long, right? So now, and integer represents all integer constants, right? Now coming to the float data type, float data type is used to represent floating point constants, specifically 32-bit floating point constants. And if you create a variable out of float data type, then the amount of memory allocated by the compiler for a float data type is 4 bytes of memory, right? Now, the third type of data type is double, and double data type is used to represent 64-bit floating point constants. And if you create a variable out of double data type, then the amount of memory allocated for that variable is 8 bytes. And the last one is character data type. Char is used for representing character constants. And if you create a variable out of your char data type, then the amount of memory allocated for your char data type is, for the variable represented by char data type, is 1 byte. Okay. And what gets stored into the memory location of a character variable is not the character itself, rather the ASCII value corresponding to that particular character. Okay. So having said that, hope you learned about data types in C language. Okay, so in the upcoming lessons, I will be telling you about the ranges of values, that is ranges of the constants that could be stored in these data types, or ranges of values that could be stored in the variables created using these data types. Okay, so if you have enjoyed this lesson, if you like this lesson, so please go and like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you can receive all my upcoming updates on these series. Okay, so having said that, meet you in the next lesson. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Love you all so much.